John Harper with you, along with Jim Votro, on the Friday Information Overload Hour. And we're excited to be at the grand opening of Helping Seniors of Brevard. Huge complex on Apollo Boulevard. And what better person to get things underway with than the Executive Director of Helping Seniors of Brevard? That is Carrie Fink. And Carrie, the day has finally arrived. You've got to be terribly excited.
You know, this has been, as you know, we talked about it on the radio many times. This has been Joe Steckler, our president and founder's vision for such a long time, to kind of create a place where not only are we able to help seniors over the phone like we've been able to do for now going into our 13th year, but really a place that we can help seniors with a lot of different things in person. So it's a couple of things. It brings a lot of the businesses that support the senior community together here. That's why it's called a resource center. It also gives us a classroom so that we can do some training and things. So we have a lot of different workshops. There's already been fall and balance workshops from Jital Patel with Coastal Occupational Therapy. I know Vicki Moore with Moore Insurance Solutions is getting ready to do one for people who are turning 65 and just beginning to navigate through everything that it requires, you know, when you're trying to figure out how you work the Medicare world and all that. So this is really a culmination of a vision, and it's not the culmination, it's actually just the start of us on the next chapter of it. But we're so grateful to be here. This is the, as you know, we're in the, we call it it's that beautiful building right here on the medical campus, the Omni Professional Tower, South Apollo Boulevard, and we're on the second floor, Suite 2C, and it's just, we're just excited. We're so excited also at just the turnout to see how many people are coming out and celebrating with us, because we really hope this is another chapter in serving seniors here.
Well, it's got to be Carrie Fink, another chapter indeed. Really, no one else is in a position to do it like Helping Seniors of Brevard.
Right.
And with the Resource Center here, the convenience, the central location of the Resource Center of Helping Seniors of Brevard, I mean, this is just great. It is an exciting time to be in, and I am so thrilled for the upcoming opportunities and possibilities that exist.
Yeah, you're saying it so right, because, you know, when Joe sent out that letter to Dr. Craig DeLegdish, who is the head of Omni Healthcare, and he was literally sending it out saying, we're really looking for a spot that we can do this, and really hoping that somebody would step in and give us that opportunity. And so Dr. DeLegdish and his fantastic team said, no, I see what you're doing here, Joe. I want to see if I can help you guys get this rolling. And we are so excited for this opportunity. The place is great. We've got great partners in here, and we're just getting it rolling. So it's one of the reasons, as you know, John, when we talk on the radio on Wednesdays with the Helping Senior Hour, we're always, you know, talking about ways that we can improve our service to seniors. And this is just one of those things that we're really excited and think's going to let us do that.
Well, you come forward, I think, Carrie Fink, warp speed in being able to help seniors with the Resource Center here. So we, as a community, can't thank you enough, can't thank Joe Steckler enough for having the vision to get this going. I remember real quick before we wrap, the very first board meeting I sat in with Joe on, and how we've come light years since that time.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, John, but Joe put out a very nice post on, I think it was on the Helping Seniors Facebook page, and he was talking about how proud he is of the fact that they are now at the place where he goes, 4 of my original board members are still connected, and so it's really an exciting time.
It's got to be. So, Carrie Fink, we really can't thank you enough for everything that you're doing with Helping Seniors of Brevard. We appreciate your spending some time with us here, and we'll talk to you further. Carrie Fink has been with us, the host of Helping Seniors of Brevard on Wednesdays at 12 noon on 90.3 FM, and the Executive Director of Helping Seniors of Brevard. Thank you.
Chloe, put your helmet on.
Okay.
Okay, Dad.
You work hard to protect your family, but some risks are easy to miss. Mosquito bites can spread germs that cause West Nile virus or Zika virus. Cockroaches leave behind bacteria as well as allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Stinging insects send more than 500,000 people to the emergency room every year. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
John Harper with you, along with Jen Votro, on the Friday Information Overload Hour. And, it's not often that you have an opportunity to spend some time with the person that you've known. I'm talking about myself. I've known this person for years. She is well respected in the community, has done great work, and I'm just delighted to have here at our microphones Kara Anderson. And Kara is with Simplifying Senior Living. Kara, you and I go way back to the 90s, right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's hard to believe.
Yes, you're incredibly generous, John.
And you haven't aged at all.
You're incredibly generous, John.
What are you drinking?
Anything.
Whatever.
Spring water, all day, every day.
It's working. But nonetheless, Kara, we're happy to have you here at the grand opening celebration of the Helping Seniors of Brevard Resource Center. And tell us a little bit about what some of your feelings are about the Resource Center here for Helping Seniors of Brevard.
Well, of course, it's super exciting whenever you can bring resources for seniors together in one space that all have the goal of helping people. No matter what their circumstances are, no matter what their questions are, these folks at Helping Seniors of Brevard are committed to getting the answers. And it takes a village. It takes more than just Helping Seniors of Brevard. It takes the partnerships and the sponsorships that they have been working on for years and years, starting with, of course, Joe Steckler, from all the way back in the day. You have to have the partnerships, and they have really cultivated some great friendships, partnerships, and relationships that are here simply to help seniors.
And it's with people like yourself, Kara Anderson, that the building blocks have gone into making this resource center with what you've done in the community throughout the years, your knowledge, your resources, and that kind of leads me into a segue into Simplifying Senior Living. What exactly is your company all about? What do you do? And tell us a little bit about Simplifying Senior Living.
Well, we utilize and refer to resources like Helping Seniors of Brevard. As a social worker myself, I started Simplifying Senior Living to help families navigate senior living, specifically housing options, which we know that's kind of a real hot topic right now. But when folks need assistance with their activities of daily living, they have gotten to the point where they can no longer live alone, and low-income housing is no longer an option for them. They have to move somewhere with care. That's where I come in. I help folks with independent living, assisted living, and memory care. And that is also using a village. And a lot of the folks that I rely very heavily on are partners here at Helping Seniors of Brevard. This resource center is fantastic. Coastal Occupational Therapy, the Office of Amy Van Fossen, Advocates for the Aging, Practitioners in Motion. I mean, you couldn't have put together a better team right here under one roof to kind of be the superstars of the needs here in Brevard County, and to put them all in one place is just incredibly impressive, and Helping Seniors has done it.
Well, you mentioned superstars, Kara Anderson, and certainly you're at the top of that list. You're excellent in what you do. I happen to know firsthand, having worked with Kara on some assisted living fairly recently for my brother, and Kara really is thorough. She takes the time to know what the person's needs are that she's trying to find the assisted living for. She wants to find out what the family's concerns are as well. She goes through everything. She is the best resource that anyone could ask for. If they're looking to find an assisted living facility, you've got to contact Kara Anderson at Simplifying Senior Living. Kara, how do people get in touch with you?
Well, the best place is 321-327-2917, but I do have a pretty robust website. I try to put resources on there, blogs that I write myself based on my over 25 years of experience experience in senior living, most of it right here in Brevard County, just to help folks get the education information they need. There is information out there, plenty of places to find it. Get it from reputable sources like Helping Seniors of Brevard, and certainly my website, simplifyingseniorliving.com.
Folks, Kara Anderson is the person. She's the go-to person. Make sure you keep that information in mind. If you need further information about Simplifying Senior Living, you can contact Helping Seniors of Brevard, and they will have your information.
That's correct.
Kara Anderson, thanks so much. I've appreciated our friendship over the last 25 years.
As have I.
And look forward to the next 25 years.
Thank you for inviting me to the lobby.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Kelly Clarkson, and as the daughter of a school teacher, I know just how important education is. No matter how old you are or your situation, continuing to learn will enrich your life and help remove barriers you didn't even know were there. So much opportunity, y'all. Whether it's a foreign language, history, or a different way to look at things, take some time each day to learn something new. This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Sean Harper with you, along with Jim Votro, on the Friday Information Overload Hour. And it's the grand opening, the big grand opening of the Helping Seniors of Brevard Resource Center. And we're thrilled to be here. We've talked to so many great people here at the grand opening. And one of those people that we especially want to spend some time with is Jennifer Barton. Jennifer is not only a board member of Helping Seniors of Brevard, she has her own organization that we're going to talk about in a minute. But also, Jennifer is one of those people who has been working practically day and night to make this grand opening happen. She is an incredible person. I'm glad to be with her on the board of directors of Helping Seniors of Brevard, and I'm glad to call her a friend as well. We've known each other for a long time. Jennifer, thanks for being with us. Some of your thoughts about the opening today of the Resource Center for Helping Seniors of Brevard.
I am so excited about this. This is really a vision that Joe has had and that I've shared with him for a number of years, and we've always been looking at different locations and different places, and we could do this or we could do that, and it just never quite seemed to be the right time or the right fit. And this building finally opened up for us with Dr. Jagdish, and we're so appreciative because it's perfect. It was a labor of love, getting this ready for today. Just so excited, so proud of our team, all of our board members, all of our resident businesses coming together, and getting this together and putting this on. We've had a great reception with the senior community tonight coming out. So just this is like I said, this is a vision that we've had for a long time, and so excited that it's finally coming to fruition. And the center looks beautiful, and everybody coming out to support us is wonderful.
It does, Jennifer Barton, look beautiful. The vision that started out with Joe Steckler at that very first board meeting, talking about eventually having something like this resource center, goes a long way to showing his commitment, his support, his looking into the future, not behind, but looking into the future at what the Resource Center Helping Seniors of Brevard can do. So we're all very appreciative of what he's done over the years.
100%. And it really has already come to fruition. We're already booked completely. In fact, we've converted rooms that we didn't think we were going to have resident sponsors in, have now been turned into resident sponsor rooms. But being able to be in here already, and not everybody 100% moved in, we have seen the fruition of having a senior walk in and saying they need help with this. And as I'm sitting talking to them, I realize they need also help with medications because they were in the donut hole. Walked them right over to Joe Pond's office and said, "Hey Joe, this is what's going on. This is the medication that they need. Do you think this is something that you can help with?" And he was able to save them money. So really, literally being able to walk from office to office and get the help that you need right there in one spot was just a fantastic feeling.
Well, that's what it's all about, and nobody else is able to do that here in Brevard County except for the Helping Seniors Seniors of Brevard Resource Center. But before we go any further, Jennifer, we want to talk about your business. Why don't you kind of give us a shameless plug as to what you're all about?
All right. So Seniors Helping Seniors really is seniors helping seniors. We hire seniors to go out and help other seniors to stay at home where they want to be. And that is wherever they call home as well. But we help people with transportation, light housekeeping, meal preparation. We do a lot of companionship. We work with a lot of folks that have mild to moderate dementia. And we do that by sending someone in that's a little closer in age. They are very active, helpful, compassionate seniors who are there because they want to be there, not because they have to be there. And that makes a huge difference. So it's always the same face coming in the door every time. We really match them, their interests and hobbies and what we're going to be doing at that house. So it works really, really well. We love what we do. We are 12 years old now. Yeah. Looking forward to the next 12.
Excellent, Jennifer. Well, we are too, and looking forward to all the great things helping Seniors of Brevard and the Resource Center will be doing here, and with all of the activities of the board, what's planned for the future, it's only look out, the best is yet to come.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Okay, Jennifer Barton, thanks so much for being with us on this edition of the Information Overload Hour.
Thank you.
You may not think of flu as a serious disease, but complications can lead to severe illness, hospitalization, and even death. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends everyone 6 months and older get a flu vaccine every year. Vaccines are available at doctors' offices, pharmacies, and local health departments. Protect yourself and your loved ones this flu season. Get a flu shot today. Learn more at cdc.gov/fightflu.
Harper with you, along with Jim Votro, as we continue on the Friday edition of the Information Overload Hour. It's the big grand opening here of the Resource Center for Helping Seniors of Brevard. An exciting afternoon indeed. We're thrilled to be here, and nice to have with us our next guest, Karen Warnlund. And Karen is with Emerald Care Management, and she's also a big supporter of Helping Seniors of Brevard. Karen, thanks for being with us. Thanks for all you do for helping Seniors of Brevard as well. You've been very special, and I know very much appreciated by everyone here at Helping Seniors. Tell us what the Resource Center here, the opening of this, what this means to you and the community.
This means an awful lot to everybody in the community. Not only is it going to be resources available, but we have a small community of several people who have offices here with us, so we can share all of their information as well. We have our helpline, which is where I've been filling in this week while Nancy Deersdorf is on vacation. So the helpline is helping those people with need resources for any amount of things: household, affordable housing, which of course is number one on all of our hearts, and working with all of the people that are on the board of directors and just sharing any information that we can come up with to forward and help all of our seniors. I'm one, and I have my business, which is Emerald Care Management, and I just love to help people stay independent in their home, so whatever Karen, it may be.
Karen, tell us a little bit about Emerald Care Management. What is that all about?
I did this in memory of my dad. I cared for him for 8 years, and afterwards I got to go to college, so I now have a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, and I love going into people's homes and helping the home fit their physical needs. A lot of times people have to go to physical therapy, and then what they used to be able to do in their home they can no longer do. So making all those adjustments, and then also safety in the home is huge. People don't realize those rugs will just get you a new hip every time. And so there's those kinds of things, and there's electrical wires. And I'm also a big believer in the less clutter in your home, the less clutter in your brain.
That's a good way to put it, Karen. And thank God there are people like you doing what you're doing, and we appreciate that, not only with Emerald Care Management, but also with what you're doing with helping seniors of Brevard. So we can't thank you enough for being here with us, Karen, and all of the things that you do for us here at Helping Seniors on the board, and just look forward to great things in the future.
Thank you so much for having me today, and I look forward to helping out in a lot of ways.
All right, Karen, thank you.
Dad, I picked up your pills, made your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of everything. But are you taking care of yourself? Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And Jim Votro right here with you at this grand opening of the Senior Resource Center in the Omni Health Building on Apollo. And I'll tell you that there have been quite a really interesting bunch of people that have showed up to enjoy the atmosphere and to share in all the knowledge that Helping Seniors has been able to garner and develop over the course of many years. We have with us right now a woman by the name of Lois Thomas, who is no stranger to Helping Seniors of Brevard. Lois is associated with the AARP, and she's that lady that when you're looking for a job, you want to go see Lois because she's going to tell you how to do it, and maybe she'll even help you. Lois, how are you doing today?
I am just so excited. I'm just happy to be here to celebrate with you all today. I was here a few months ago and did the radio broadcast from the studios here, and there was still a lot of work that needed to be done, but it's just so awesome to be here today at the grand opening of the Senior Resource Center and see all of the improvements that have been made. I took a tour and viewed some of the office spaces, and it's good to see that they've been decorated and now there are staff in-house and available to provide resources, and I would say much needed resources to seniors throughout our community because it is desperately needed.
Isn't it nice that you can come in and you can walk around the place and you can actually find things that you might be looking for, and you're not in the kitchen, we say in the kitchen with John and I, because basically we go to the kitchen and we get what we came for. But
that happens.
Yeah, but seriously speaking, this is a great place to come and utilize all the services that are offered and possibly actually just unimaginable when it comes to all the things that you might need to do during the course of a trip to the Senior Resource Center. Lois Thomas from the AARP and Career Source, we thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a really good time here.
I absolutely, I'm enjoying myself, and it's just so awesome to see all the different partners housed in one physical location. So that's the beauty of the Resource Center. It almost seems like it's a one-stop shop because you have so many different community partners and agencies located under one roof, and I really do feel that it is going to be such a game changer for Brevard County, for the Melbourne, Palm Bay area, and I'm just so excited to see that the parts from it being under construction to now seeing it as it is now, and hopefully I'll be able to come and do some workshops to help people get back to work. I would love to have that as well, so hopefully we'll be able to partner with that in the future.
And I hope this thing will grow even bigger than it is.
Absolutely.
Right now it's getting big right now. So thank you so much, Lois Thomas, for being with us today on the Information Overload Hour. We'll be back with John Harper in just a minute.
Protect her home and family in a disaster. Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
John Harper with you and Jim Votro as the Friday Information Overload Hour continues. It's the big grand opening of Helping Seniors of Brevard. I feel like it's a grand opening for a supermarket, but it's the grand opening of the Resource Center for Helping Seniors of Brevard. And one of the people who has been significant in helping to get this opening underway is Vicki Moore. And Jim Votro, you you and Vicki have known each other for a while, and you understand better than anybody what Vicki does, so I'll turn this over to you.
Well, full disclosure, Vicki Moore is my insurance agent for my Medicare Advantage plan. And Vicki is right here in the Senior Resource Center. She's one of the sponsors that actually have offices here. And Vicki, are you excited about this new operation?
Well, I am so excited to be part of this center. It's been something that they helping seniors has been looking towards for a long time, and so I'm just very excited and really honored to be able to be one of the businesses that gets to be part of this community. It really is like a community. It's not just a space to have an office. I mean, we are a community here where all of the different businesses that are focused on our seniors in the Brevard County, we get to help all those seniors, and so it's a really nice situation.
Well, Vicki, we're getting close to that open enrollment period again, so you'll be right there to answer any questions, I'm sure, that might come to pass from all the advertising that we're going to be inundated with. We're already being inundated with it now. I can only imagine what it's going to be like October through December.
Oh yeah, we are edging on to that, or we're getting to that time of year, and as you said, so October 1st is when we as insurance agents are allowed to start sharing what the new plans are going to look like, and that's always, in my world, it's an exciting time. Right now, I'm going to lots of different events with the different carriers, such as Humana and Care Plus and United, and learning about what the benefits are going to be for the upcoming year. And so then I get to start sharing those with my clients and anyone that has questions about it come October 1st. But then, of course, people can't make changes until October 15th. So that does run from October 15th through December 7th. That is called the annual enrollment period, and that is when people can actually make changes if they feel, after they've done a plan review and they feel like maybe they need to do something different, they're allowed to do it during that time.
Well, Vicki, I know that right now we are getting inundated with some of those ads already, but you've been able to manipulate or help us get through the whole process because you're an independent agent. You don't represent just one company. You really try and match the companies with the actual person, as you did in my case, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I at one time in my career, I was a captive agent, which just means, you represent one company, and that's all, if that product didn't work out for a person, then, you didn't have any other options. But it's very nice to be in the situation as an independent agent where I really just do a needs analysis with people and kind of figure out what is, look at their medications, look at their network of providers that they use, make sure we're choosing or kind of guide them towards a plan that's going to work best for them. Make sure that their doctors are in the network and their medications that they're getting at the best, at the best rates and things like that. And they're getting the benefits, whether it be, transportation benefits or, maybe, they like the idea of an HMO or a PPO or even Medicare supplements. Those are other options that are out there as well.
Well, Vicki Moore, we are very, very happy that you're here in the Senior Resource Center right here at the Omni building on Apollo. And we look forward to coming in and getting all of our questions answered. And we thank you very much for joining us on the grand opening of the Senior Resource Center. So thank you, Vicki.
Well, thank you very much.
The Information Overload Hour continues. John Harper and Jim Votro with you. And we're delighted right now to have on our newsmaker line the person responsible for Helping Seniors of Brevard, and now the Helping Seniors of Brevard Resource Center, come to an opening just the other night right here in Melbourne, and that is none other than the president of Helping Seniors of Brevard, Joe Steckler. And Joe, congratulations first on the opening of the new Resource Center, Helping Seniors of Brevard. This has been something that you envisioned well over a decade ago, and it finally happened. What are some of your thoughts about the opening of the Resource Center and all these years that you've been in the planning to make this happen?
Thank you, John. It has been a long time making it happen. And, I wasn't able to be at the ribbon cutting, but I did watch some videos of it. But, getting something started and being there for an opening or something that what's really important is putting things in place that will help people. And, I had the idea, but it sure took a lot of people to make it happen. I got an email and then a video from Mr. Kerry Fink, who is the executive director for Helping Seniors now. And they had the ribbon cutting for the Chamber of Commerce for Palm Bay on Wednesday. I think it was August the 23rd, if I got my dates right. I probably
you're
don't.
Right.
But
you're right.
Anyway, what's important is the center is open, it's operating, and it's helping people. And I was able to take a phone call last night from a lady that it really needed help. Her husband had dementia, and the police at Baker acted demand, and one of the hospitals in the area had wanted this woman to bring her husband home and go down and sign some paperwork. And I advised the lady, I said, don't do anything until somebody that's qualified to give you the right kind of help and make the right kind of decisions talks to you. And that's the important thing about a senior center like this. It provides help, but it also provides information so that people can make the right decision. And when you're older, John, and people are throwing all kind of advice at you, you just don't know what to do, and you need somebody that is qualified but is senior care friendly to help you make the right or the best decision as possible.
Joe Steckler is with us, and Joe Steckler is the president and CEO of Helping Seniors of Brevard. We're talking about the new resource center that just opened this week for Helping Seniors of Brevard, for the community, I should say. And Joe, I remember the very first board meeting that you had for Helping Seniors of Brevard well over a decade ago. And did you ever think you'd finally see the day in which this resource center became a reality?
Well, it's happening. I guess, John, the best way I can describe it is having a mindset that says that it can be done, and if you can get the right people to help, it will be done. And I think right now, I know that the people that are 10 tenants down there right now, that these people all pitched in a couple of nights this past week to clean the place up and get things ready and pull together to make the evening a success for everybody. And people had a good time. They know what's there. They know that it's there to help people. And I'll go back again to that phone call. The lady is in her 80s, and her husband was 85, and she was upset. But after I talked to her and told her what is available, what we're going to do, when I talked to the woman this morning, she said, I was able to sleep, Mr. Steckler, after you called me last night. And what's important is I asked her how she found out about us. And she said, well, her daughter-in-law looked on the internet, saw us, and then she said the thing that was there that said that they'll get back to you. And that's important. We don't just take a phone call. We follow up. And this is what's so important, is that the follow-up, people know that there's a live person on the end of that phone, and it's not just, they just don't leave a message. Somebody calls you and helps you. That's reassuring a person that somebody's going to try and do their very best to help them is so important.
That sure is important, Joe Steckler. Very reassuring, and I'm glad that you're able to help that lady out with the problems that she was having with her husband. Joe, as we conclude our little discussion here, as you look down the road several years from now, where do you see the Helping Seniors of Brevard Resource Center going and growing? What do you envision next?
Well, what I envision next is trying to get the nonprofit organizations in Brevard County to start working together, because the county commissioners just recently cut out funding for the Brevard Cultural Arts programs, and several years ago they cut out the funding for nonprofit organizations. And what we're doing is we are reducing the people-friendly and people information programs, and you can't do that in a county that is growing and attracting many people to new jobs because of the Military Space Coast program being brought here. It's one of the 5 major centers that the Air Force is going to have around the world, right here in Brevard County, Florida. It's important, and you just can't bring people to a place that doesn't provide something in the form of cultural arts and having services that can take care of people when they need it. So the cultural programs are important. Helping people programs are important, and that's what we have a lack of, and I intend to do all I can to get those funding for those programs restored so people have help and they have an opportunity to have a little culture. And, a lot of people don't like what I call highfalutin music, but a lot of people do. And I happen to like things like the William Tell Overture and things like that. So these are all things that are needed, Gary. Hi, John.
It certainly is needed, but I know with your vision, Joe Steckler, looking into the future, it's going to happen. I can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done over the years, making this happen, as far as bringing the Resource Center into reality for helping seniors of Brevard in our community and everywhere. And it's so important. We can't thank you enough, Joe Steckler. God bless, and we look forward to the next stage of helping seniors of Brevard and Joe Steckler. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, John.
Hey, 42 minutes
Just
into
had
our show.
Another dizzy spell and almost fell. I'm scared they will get worse and never go away.
You're not alone. 69 million people suffer from dizziness and vertigo.
I wonder if there's help.
There is. The Vestibular Disorders Association has a helpline at 800-837-8428 or visit liferebalanced.org.
Can you repeat that?
800-837-8428 or liferebalanced.org.
Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
And 42 minutes and 30 seconds into our show. Sorry, I upstaged the commercial there, the spot, the PSA. But at any rate, we're running a little bit long today, Joe. John Paul, George, or Ringo. I don't know. But
it was a program that we had to. We didn't even give it a second thought as far as putting this program together for helping seniors of Brevard and the Resource Center that just opened on Wednesday of this week. I know you and I were really excited about it. So many other people who have come in touch with the organization are thrilled about it as well, because they recognize the need, obviously, for this Resource Center, and they recognize also what it can do for the entire community. And as Joe Steckler mentioned in our conversation with him a few moments ago, Jim, he wants to, in the next stage of what he is trying to envision for the future, he wants to bring the nonprofits together in this community, especially since the county government, the county commissioners, have cut the funding for the nonprofit organizations. So I think what Joe wants to do is, instead of trying to compete with each other, trying to bring as many nonprofits as possible under the same roof. And that's also where the Resource Center will come into play.
Well, John, they also cut the funding for the cultural arts center, all the cultural arts that they had been funding over the course of the last several years, and I guess they put the money in beaches or something of that nature. And I'm not really familiar with everything on it, but we're going to look into that a little bit because we think that the arts are an important thing as well. And I think we've got an awful lot to dig into in future shows. But Joe, right now, John, right now it's almost coming up on 45 minutes into our show, and I think we really ought to come up with a little bit of a weather update, just a brief one maybe, and